Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan
Hello.
and Coffee.
Hello.
All right, Claire, what's on the agenda this week?
So this week we sat down to watch a short film called Cope. Cope was written and directed by Anthony Sutcliffe and produced by and starring Nick Hendrix, who's from Midsomer Murders, Marcella, and Legend. So the film was shot in Bristol and Windsor and also features Jessica Ellerby, Lisa Coleman, and Caroline Langrish. It's been selected for a lot of film festivals, and it's about a guy called Liam, and he only has 6 weeks to live. I have to spoil it a little teeny tiny bit, but so at the start we see we see this guy and he looks kind of depressed, as if he has a terminal illness, and he has a calendar, and he says he's only 6 weeks to live. But it is revealed that he decides to end his life on a certain date, which sounds really depressing, which is in the premise. But there's kind of an uplifting tone to it as well, especially when he meets someone who just smiles at him on a bridge, and he thought, I think I'll keep living for a little while longer. It does sound really depressing, but there is a lovely. I thought the cinematography was beautiful in this, and it's a film that the voiceover, his voice is the way he narrates it, and the tone of his voice really suits the film. And yeah, and it really shows off Bristol and Windsor, and especially in the picture behind me. I don't know if that's Bristol or Windsor. If or Milo, I don't know if you know, but it's
Oh,
just.
I just realized we're
Oh,
using
sorry,
almost
we have
exactly
the
the
same
same pictures
picture.
too, but it's not because I think my guy, he's a little bit farther
Is
off.
he? Oh, yes,
We're
little,
very
little bit.
close. That's funny.
The perspective is different. But I love at this, the cinematography shines and the voiceover shines and the acting. The premise, yeah, it is a bit depressing, but there is a sign of hope there as well. So what do you guys think of it?
Yeah, it was funny the way it started because when he said, I'm going to die on in 6 weeks, and then he even had it on his calendar or whatever. And then they have these little cuts where he's at, like, I guess a doctor's office or something like that. But the first thing I thought was, well, how does he know he's going to die on this day specifically? Right. So they do answer it obviously because that's the day he's planning to kill himself, which is kind of interesting lead up because they don't give that away. Um, yeah, I agree with you. It was shot really nicely. Uh, it's it's kind of hard though because yeah, it is a bit on the depressing side, and even I know you're saying with the ending it's kind of a bit uplifting in regards to what he decides to do, but it's still more of the same, which is actually to me a bit depressing to where
Yeah.
like I don't know, should we completely spoil it? Because we've kind of spoiled it a little bit, but like,
Spoiler alert.
all
Spoiler
right,
alert.
yes. So, because at the end, he basically is like, okay, this person I passed on the bridge smiled to me, and that gave me enough motivation to live for another 6 weeks. So my new date of death is 6 weeks from whatever it previously was, and it's like uplifting because I've got this one little thing that gave me enough to live for, but I'm still constantly thinking about dying. The message is, of course, live every day like you're going to die.
Yeah.
You know you're going to die, so appreciate every moment of it. But it also means living every day thinking about dying, which also is kind of a bit depressing. I don't know.
Yeah. And I it's kind of weird because he seems to just be bored with life.
Yeah.
That's what his thing is. And there's probably his depression he has or something, but it's yeah, it is like make the most of every moment. And it is a weird feeling you get at the end. It's a kind of mixture of slightly uplifting, but then okay, obviously he's just extended his date. He wants to die. So yeah, it leaves you with the weird mixed feelings, I thought.
Yeah.
And when you said at the start there that he has a calendar, that
Mhm.
sounds like a medical complaint.
Oh
Really
yeah,
does.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh, um, well, as you say, it does a very good job of the sort of depicting the ennui of his everyday living. with this the dull monotone voiceover and the sort of the imagery and the sort of the monotony of his day-to-day living, going to the shops and walking home in the rain, almost like stepping in a puddle was the highlight of his life. And I suppose he probably aspired to that kind of a middle class suburban, you know, existence. And now that he has it, he's sort of thinking, is this what it is? And you could, in some ways, it should be our natural way of being, like, that because we live with the sure knowledge that we are heading for our own eventual demise. So if you have too much time to think about it, we'll be depressed. And that's my story anyway. But yeah, I have to say, like, this is the second film that you've picked about depression that I can think of.
Or is it? Okay. Interesting.
You remember that film Soft Rain?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, with
That's
the cartoon with
true.
the fuzzy things.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's kind of similar, isn't it? Well,
yeah,
kind of. It's kind of like a film. I know it's a bit different, but film version of Soft Rain, uh,
yeah,
isn't it? I just think I forgot about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Do you want a hug, Claire? You virtual
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
sorry. But I just think yeah, it's important these type of films, and it's just there's a real human connection there as well. And it's like it seems he's gotten the house and the family, and he has the job, and then he's probably thinking that is that it? Do you know the way like most people he probably aspired to that and thought when he gets them he'd be happy, but he's not. Yeah, it is. Sorry, it's a bit of a depressing pick, but I did enjoy it in respect from the acting and the cinematography, side of it.
It's funny because in watching it, like in watching him go through his life and stuff, and I'd be like, yeah, I'd be depressed if that was my life. I can
Mm,
kind of like sympathize with
Yeah.
it. I know
mm,
that this is what everybody's supposed to want, but I'm like, oh, that just looks
mm.
awful. Like it just looks
Yeah.
so
Particularly the way it was, represented there. I'm sure you could have made that film in a completely different way, showing the exact same scenes.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
but
with the happy voiceover and upbeat
uh,
music. Yeah,
and a
exactly.
happy
Oh,
family life.
yeah, yeah, he could have easily. And I think what makes it is the quality of the acting and the quality of the voiceover. Because this could have, it wouldn't be, if he wasn't such a good, it had a lovely voice, that really suited this sense of a film, then it would have been different. Yeah, it wouldn't be as good, I think. Mm.
I mean, and I know you highlighted the locations there. Where was it? Bristol and where else?
And Windsor. Yeah.
Win. Like, yeah. I mean, they do come across as quite depressing places, but that could be anywhere in sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
Caribbean, in UK or Ireland, I guess. Has
Mm.
the same sort of that look, dull grey, brown, white buildings, concrete jungle.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
reminds me
true.
of
Like, there's so many places like that you're like, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Is this the dream? And even his job, it's so kind of, gray in one way, like office orientated. There's no real spark he's like lost the spark in his life. And then I thought it was beautiful, like just meeting this woman across the bridge and just a simple smile from a stranger that can make a huge difference, Yeah.
Unless it's a creepy smile. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, exactly. Unless it's a creepy smile or that she tells him to get lost. You know what I mean? The other way it can happen. But I thought it was beautiful. Just a little smile, just kind of a nod can change someone's life or perspective. I thought it was
yeah,
very beautifully
sometimes.
done.
Did you notice that when he was making copies, he didn't close the top of the copy
Oh
machine?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Mm,
Mm.
terrible. Well, that's what depressed people do, I suppose,
They don't close the copy
Oh,
machine
totally.
properly. They don't close the top.
What's the point? Who
Yeah.
cares?
Doesn't matter. These copies, they can suck. I don't
Yeah. Coffee's probably making them depressed anyway, all that caffeine.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right.
It reminds. I'm gonna hit you with one of my famous jokes now. Okay, that I
No.
thought about.
Oh, get ready to laugh.
So this guy goes into his doctor and he goes, "Doctor says I've got some uh, bad news and good news, or good news and bad news." And he goes, "Okay, doc, tell me." And he said, "Well, the good news is you've got 24 hours to live." I says, "That's the good news. What's the bad news?" I should have told you yesterday. Kind
Oh,
Um,
oh, oh, okay.
I've actually heard that one before.
of. I gotta laugh at it. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
That's
that's
It's a good joke, a
progress.
Cahill joke.
yeah. Jokes by Cahal
Mhm.
on a
Exactly.
budget. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up then on a highlight of a joke. You want to go first, Cahal, or you want me to go first?
Okay. Yeah, look, it it is what it said on the tin. You know, it was a film about depression, and it was a depressing film. It was shot very well, made very well. Um, can't say I enjoyed it particularly. Maybe I'm not supposed to. Um, but I'll give it 3.5 stars.
I'm kind of with you. Like it was shot nicely, voiced over. Like you said, it does what you expect it to do. Uh, but it's not one of those films that I'd be like, oh, I'd watch that again, kind of a thing. And it's nice that it has a message. But I think unlike you, Claire, it didn't uplift me at the end. It had the complete
Okay.
opposite effect on me. So I'm gonna go 3 stars.
Okay. So for me, it is like I suppose, depression really, and I just think what elevates it is the acting and the cinematography and the voiceover, and I suppose I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but it's really well made. Is what I say. I'm gonna give it 4 stars.
Mhm. There you have it, no budget audience. It's called Cope. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment in the show notes, or we have social medias at No Budget Show. And with that, we'll say see you next time and goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.